So I'm pretty sure the last time I wore this shirt was when I was filming and I realized that I didn't take off the tag. You know, I could have cut that out, but I like exposing you to the weirdness that is my life. And it's not actually ever really very weird because I'm a pretty boring person, but I don't know. That's a piece of my day. And putting this on today made me remember that time and how I made the decision to go ahead and publish my idiocy on onto the interwebs. Really. That's all. That's all I got today. Oh, no, I have geodes too. We're going to do some geode bath bombs, and I'm going to tell you more about them in just a minute. But before I do, hello, I am Mrs. Soap and Clay. Let's make stuff. How's it going, Sudsers? Welcome back to the channel. You're at Soap and Clay, where we make all the soapy things, and you are here for day 123 of 365 days of soap, and we are doing geode bath bombs today. Now, the reason we are doing geode bath bombs today is because A, I am not done with this mystical collection from Sierra Candles because it's amazing, and two, well, I needed to figure out my fall bath bombs, and these ones really aren't it, like that's not the whole line. And I wanted to incorporate Sierra Candles into these bath bombs, right? And since we did the soaps with the kind of geode rock, kind of very natural stone type, you've been watching. I thought this would be cute. So I wanted to do this. Now, the first time I saw this done was like a million years ago on some vlog channel. Like, I want to say it's Emma Chamberlain. It wasn't Emma Chamberlain. It might have been Emma Chamberlain. I don't know. But she was sort of just sitting cross-legged in her like room and on a little table making these bombs, and I went, okay, cool, day in a life, I get it, right? But when I saw the actual process, I went, yeah, I don't want to do that. I don't want to make half a bath bomb. It's not going to be stable for shipping. It's going to be a bad idea. I'm not doing it. But then, again, when I started making these soaps with Sierra Candle scents, I went, I can try, and I can build a better bath bomb that will survive shipping. So that's what we're doing today. And you get to be around for that soapy awesomeness. So, you know, let's go do that. And I'm pretty sure I give you a recipe today. I don't know. Let's find out. Well, this one's going to be a fun one. We are doing a recipe day on like half bath bombs. And when I saw this done years and years ago on like a vlog style channel, I thought, well, I don't really want to do half bath bombs because that's not fun. But then I started thinking about it. And yeah, no, it's totally fun because A, I already cut all of my bath bombs in half when I personally use them anyway, because that's just how I roll. But two, you're including a whole lot of extra cool stuff in them. So it becomes like part bath bomb, part bath melt, essentially. Plus a bit of a relief soak. Not a lot, because there's only so much Epsom salt that you can put into something like this. But it kind of works. So what we're going to do is we're going to use my bath bomb recipe, change it up a little bit. So it's going to be 2 cups baking soda, 1 cup citric acid, 1/2 cup cornstarch, 1/2 cup Epsom salts, 2 tablespoons water, 1 tablespoon sunflower oil, and whatever colors you would like to suit, and 1 tablespoon of scent. Now, in the packing of the bath bombs, I found that the best way to do it was to really firmly pack this in and get it all the way up to the sides, creating, about a 1/4 of an inch of side wall in that concave to provide a nice little nest for the Epsom salts to go into. Now, because you're only dealing with a half of a bath bomb, I think it's best to let 1/2 sit in 1/2 of the mold for a little bit while you make the other, to give it a little bit of time to really solidify before you pop it out, so you don't end up with a really fragile bomb that breaks as soon as you try to do so. And so that was my thinking on the matter. So that's, what I ended up doing for all of these bath bombs, and it worked really well. The particular colorants that I put into this one, they were just some liquid colorants to see if there was a difference between adding a little bit more liquid to this than the activated charcoal ones that I will do with just the recipe I literally just gave you, but not liquid colorant, activated charcoal instead. And also to see which colors work better for the outside of the bomb. So if we're going for a geode type effect, what color kind of works. Again, I just had some lab colors out and about, and so I just used a random mix of those to create some kind of browny gray. I don't know. For those of you who use liquid colorants in your bath bombs, you know how to achieve the colors that you would like without using micas. So that's good. Do that for sure. I just wanted to test and see if we needed more liquid in this than normal. Although this recipe already does have more liquid in it than my usual recipe. And the reason for that is I wanted to have more liquid. Really. I was thinking for the stickiness factor of it and it really adhering well to itself with kind of a more fragile bomb, because it's just, half of one with a jagged edge at that more liquid may help the process. So that's ultimately my thinking on the 2 tablespoons of water instead of 1. Now, once these are done, I will, also spoiler alert, I don't know if I'll have time to talk about it or if I even showed you the activated charcoal versions as I was making them, but there was no need for the extra liquid that comes from the liquid colorants, so totally just use micas. It was the point of what I was saying earlier. So after these are all done, I am going to let them set up overnight, but with subsequent batches, I played around with the time that they had to firm up, and I could move on to the next step within about 3 hours. So between 3 hours or overnight. It all depends on how fast you need to do them or what your schedule is like, really. Usually when I have a 2-part, 2-step, whatever for anything, be it bath bombs or bubble bar cupcakes or, whatever, I tend to take the day in between, just regardless. But yeah, so these all make, oh God, I want to say this recipe makes 12 halves, which I guess makes sense because in full it would make 6 bombs. So like full bombs with this. So that's good. Now this is one of those situations wherein you can use, the other day, a few days ago, we did the what size bath bomb mold should you buy? This is one of those instances where if you want a bigger, oh look, I did the activated charcoal ones too. Yeah, there's no difference between the two. But yeah, if you wanted a bigger bomb, a bigger half to give your end user, you could use those really big bath bomb molds that I showed you that are like 10 ounces in total and like with a full bomb. So this would be between 5 and 6 ounces once you get the Epsom salts or whatever piled into the middle. So yeah, there's totally that. Granted, this is not the whole recipe. I didn't write it down. I'm not going to type it out. It's a bath bomb recipe, and it was all trial and error. And the next part of the recipe is actually coming up right now because we have to figure out a way to make Epsom salts stick in the middle. So let's do that. Okay, so I have melted down some coconut, and I am going to play around with the best way to adhere some Epsom salts, which I have colored with liquid colorants and let dry. The best way to adhere some Epsom salts into the middle of this bath bomb. Now, I kind of want a mound, right? I don't want it to be just a little bit right in the middle, because then that's not super a geode. And I dipped my brush in a mica to do this, to color the bristles of the brush, to see if we could get some depth. And ultimately, I decided that it doesn't really matter. And I'm going to paint the edges instead with a mica afterwards, with a Mica Slurry. But that is just me painting a little bit into the bottom. And as you can see, not much stays. And again, we want this to be a big mound. And so I guess maybe we try layering it like an onion and an ogre. That will always be funny to me. And see how that works. But that's kind of a tedious process. So I don't really want to do that. That's okay. Some drippy drip. Yeah, there we go. Spoon. Spoon makes more sense. Really saturate the salts. This is what I'm going with. This is the best move, I think. Saturate those salts. But you don't even have to use a spoon. I don't know if I ended up showing this later, but ultimately what I ended up doing, not even this, like I even cut out this coating part. I ultimately ended up just taking the Pyrex and just pouring about half a tablespoon of oil into the cavity, and then just putting a whole bunch of Epsom salts in, and it all soaks it up and does great. I don't know if I ultimately ended up showing that in the video or not, but that was what I ultimately decided. So the final part of that is about 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts that go into the middle, and a half a tablespoon of coconut oil used to adhere the Epsom salts to the bath bombs. Now, that does not mean that you can only use Epsom salts. You remember my recipe for the Dead Sea bath salts? And how craggy and awesome and rock looking those things were? The Dead Sea bath salts in general. See, that's super pretty. You could use the Dead Sea bath salt recipe inside of this as well, and it would be, I think, more realistic and awesome. Here's the problem though. You definitely have to put them in the freezer, and here's why. These sat for like 10-15 minutes, and they were still so saturated that everything fell out. So I'm going to fix these. I'm going to put them in the freezer for about 10 minutes and allow that coconut oil to re-solidify, because it's still hanging out at room temperature, and then we'll check it out. Okay, so these have been put into the fridge, the freezer, and they have been frozen, and yep, that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. And when they come back to room temperature, they do not lose any more salts. So I know that's going to be a question, and they don't start losing salt after they come back to room temperature. So there you go. Now I'm gonna go ahead and paint these with a Mica Slurry. So mica, rubbing alcohol, glycerin, all of that. So the final recipe, for anyone who may accuse me of clickbaiting and recipe, where's the whatever. 2 cups baking soda, 1 cup citric acid, 1/2 cup cornstarch, 1/2 cup Epsom salt, 2 tablespoons of water, 1 tablespoon of sunflower oil and or a lightweight oil, up to 1 tablespoon of whatever scent you would like. That's skin safe. 1/2 tablespoon of coconut oil inside, and 2 tablespoons of Epsom salt inside. Again, you can also totally use your Dead Sea bath salts or some pink Himalayan salts or something that is skin and bath friendly and will dissolve and do the things that looks, you know, geode-y. But I think these are great. These are super beautiful. And all of them are scented with all of the scents I picked up from Sierra Candles after they sent me that sample pack for the Mystical collection. And so it's perfect. It's going to match all the soaps really beautifully. And, you know, that's good because building a theme is all about the theme, really. So, yeah, but I also want to see how these like work in the tub. And so, you know, we're going to test them. And you know me, true to form, we're not going to go to a bathtub. Year one, I used to try to go to a bathtub and do the testing of bath bombs, and it just got to be too much of a pain because my light is right here. So why go to the tub when I can just bring some water to you so you can get an idea of what they all look like when they're fizzing out. So that's what I'm going to do now. Bring in some water and gonna drop that guy in. And look at that. It's beautiful. Actually, I want to see it. Can I make it float? I want to make it float. Can you make it? Can you? There you go. Yeah, make it float. There you go. Do the thing. It'll float. Let it go. It'll be okay. Promise. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. All right. Cool. Yes. It's beautiful. It's cool and foamy because of the Epsom salts. But you can add poly if you want to make it foam more. But that's a very pretty little bath bomb. It's a cool geode theme. So if you're into that, you should do that thing. And yeah, that's the biggest thing is you want to make sure you add more water than you normally would for your bath bomb recipe. But that is day 123, the geode bath bombs. So a lot of trial and error with all of that, determining how much coconut oil, do we pour it, do we drip it, do we flick it, whatever. But ultimately, they came out really, really stable and really very beautiful. And you can do all manner of things with this, right? Like I used colored Epsom salts, but you could use like my Dead Sea bath salts recipe. You could also use that in there. Also a great idea. You can, sky's the limit. Put some pink Himalayan salt in there. I mean, the sky's not literally the limit. There's grains, grainy, whatever. Put some pink Himalayan salt in there. Do some things. Have some fun with those for sure. I think they're pretty great. And actually they are stable enough to ship. Although I went ahead and wrapped these ones in plastic and like shrink wrapped them. And I don't do shrink wrap plastic anymore. I just happen to have some because I stopped using it. And I don't like that. So I'm coming up with a better solution for that. I think ultimately I'm still going to go back to my muslin with the hair tie for these ones. But you know, it's all experimentation. It's all part of the process. And you got to be around for the whole thing. So I hope you enjoyed that. Hope you learned some things. I hope you just enjoyed that, just in general. Because I like experimenting and finding new ways to do things or how to make something work better than all the time. And sharing it with you. If you are interested in seeing what else we do with all the things, hey, subscribe. For those of you who are subscribed, hey, Sudzer, thank you for being here. You guys are epic, as always, and I'm so glad that you joined me for another round of 365 days of soap. I'm out of here for today, but I will see you guys all again tomorrow for another round of soapy fun. Bye. I did a double wave that time.